It's been a year since I ditched decades of Mac for Linux. Throughout the year, I've tried over 30 plus distros and built several custom Linux PCs, iterating until I found what I believe to be the final form build. Out of all the builds, the Fractal North midsize tower won me over with the Darkrock Pro 5 cooler, a MSI Z890 Tomahawk motherboard with the Intel Core Ultra 7 270K Plus, and an NVIDIA RTX 5070 Shadow for the GPU. I also tried several power supplies and found the Corsair RM850X Shift to be the best as well. The Fractal case stays really cool, has two included front intake fans, and I added three Be Quiet fans for added cooling. Links are in the description if you're interested, but I also got this stand off Amazon that matches the vibe of the Fractal North case, but it's not the best stand for $30, but it looks nice and it does what I need. It keeps this beautiful yet larger mid-size case off my desk, as I have a smaller standing desk with a wood butcher block countertop I got a while back, and I prefer to keep my desk extremely minimal and clean. For peripherals, let's start with the speakers, as my monitor doesn't have built-in speakers. I'm using the Walnut Audio Engine A2 HD speakers. These sound incredible and are priced really well on Amazon, often on sale. And of course, I can't forget about the Android figures and tucks. For the monitor, it's a 32-inch LG Ultra Gear 4K OLED. It's a beautiful monitor, thin, and just looks great on my desk. I'm using a Keychron Q11 Ultra 8K wireless split keyboard. Review on this coming soon. Spoiler, it's very cool. Thanks Keychron for sending it. Gaming, I'm using a compact 8-bit SN30 Pro controller. For my audio, I wanted something portable, but that sounded good, and I found DJI's mic minis are so good, and the battery on these last a really long time. They also are really super easy to pair, and you can just plug them in via USB-C, which makes it even easier. Again, I wanted something portable that I could take with me on the go when I'm shooting either mobile smartphone videos, or maybe I'm doing a video on my Tesla, for example. This has just been a really great, easy setup. Okay, enough about the hardware. What about Linux? Well, as always, I continue to go back to Linux Mint. It just feels like home. For those curious though on how to install Mint and how I customize my Mint environment, let's walk through it again here in this video. Well, I've covered this before. I constantly get asked in the comments to cover it again, so here we are. First, of course, download Linux Mint, and then you'll want to flash it to a USB. I use Balena Etcher to do this. Plug the newly flashed USB into the PC you want to install Linux Mint on, boot into your BIOS. You can boot into your BIOS by holding or clicking delete on your keyboard at initial boot, then select boot options and boot from the USB. Your machine will boot from the USB. You can, of course, try Linux Mint out first if you prefer, but let's install it right away by selecting Install Linux Mint in the top left corner. Follow the on-screen prompts to install. This is very intuitive and doesn't take long at all to install. Once the installation is complete, you will be prompted to restart your machine, then prompted to remove the USB before proceeding. Make sure you do indeed remove the USB before the machine reboots. I'm using OBS Studio if you're curious to walk through this. I installed that initially. Now I'm going to install Plank Dock, which gives me a macOS style app dock. Once Plank's installed, navigate to Startup Applications to add Plank, ensuring Plank is readily available at initial boot. You can of course add other custom commands or apps to boot if you need to right at that time as well. Search and open Plank. Once you open Plank, you can then customize the Plank dock to your liking. Right-click the dock, select Preferences, and customize as much as you want. Now let's move the panel to the top of the display. Right-click the panel and select Move, and well, move the panel to the top. In the menu, search for Applets, scroll to the bottom of Installed Applets, and select Workspace Switcher to enable it. The Workspace Switcher enables the ability to have multiple workspaces and to easily toggle between them. You can also customize this, so instead of the workspace previews, you can switch to simple buttons for a cleaner look. I personally prefer the simple buttons, but to each their own. Now I'll search and download Cinemenu. Cinemenu is just a much nicer, more customizable menu that you can use versus the default Linux Mint menu. I'll remove the default Linux Mint menu. Once removed, I'll right click and enter edit panel mode so I can move Cinemenu, and while doing so, I'll move the workspace switcher and clean up the panel a bit. And of course, you can customize this fully to your liking as well. You don't have to use the standard Linux Mint kind of old school Windows look right out of the box, which is what I really appreciate about not just Linux, but Linux Mint as well, can be easily customized to your liking. With Cinemenu, you can also select a custom icon and use a nicer icon of your choosing. And you can also remove the text font there as well, which I'll do here shortly, but I just wanted to show that there's a lot of customization options here, and you can really truly make Linux Mint your own. As you can see for Cinemenu, for me, I really like a compact, smaller list of apps when I'm searching, just to make it a little bit cleaner and a little bit more accessible for my everyday use. Next, I'll customize the clock time date format here at the top, and by the way, I will put this in the description of this video if you're curious, but here's the format I use time and time again. I just typically copy and paste it all the time. So just for reference, this is the layout that I like. This is the clean format that I find to be the best overall. You can also install custom themes. Again, all the details are in the video description down below, as well as the link to this theme that I use, Jasper, which I specifically use the Jasper dark green theme. First, make sure you open themes so then you can access the .themes folder where we'll need to store the extracted custom theme downloaded, which also make sure you've enabled show hidden files to see the .themes folder after opening themes. In Files, navigate to the .themes folder and prep for storing the theme you download. Download the theme of your choice. Once downloaded, move the theme to the .themes folder, extract the theme there. Once extracted, since I use the Jasper dark green theme, that is the only theme I will keep, so I will delete the others just to keep this, again, a clean, minimal setup, as I won't use the other themes. Navigate to Themes, select Advanced Settings, then select your theme you downloaded to enable the theme. Here you can enable all sorts of custom themes as well as custom icons. Again, many options here if you dig in. For the wallpapers, if you've watched my Linux videos that I've made across this channel, I always give a shout out to the My Linux for Work.files wallpaper collection, which by the way, I absolutely love My Linux for Work.files and often run that as well with Fedora. But anyways, navigate to the GitHub, copy and paste the command to pull the wallpapers. Just make sure you installed Git before doing so. Then all the wallpapers from this collection will be available to select. You just need to add the wallpaper folder easily right from the wallpaper personalization customization settings here. And then again, you'll see all of the wallpapers and you can select one that best matches your aesthetic or your overall theme. For me, I have my go-to, especially for Linux Mint, so I'll enable that now. That is my Linux Mint customization setup in full. From there, I install all the applications I use, like Kdenlive to edit this video you're watching, Audacity to record the audio that you're listening to, and more. I truly keep this a fully minimal setup. I only download and install the apps I actually use every day in my workflow. I like to keep my desktop very clean, very lightweight, and I don't like to use a lot of storage for a lot of wasted applications or software, etc. So for me, this is that clean, minimalist Linux Mint setup that I absolutely love to use. Usually from install customizations and app install, it only takes me about 30 to 40 minutes for Linux Mint to get fully up and running. And don't get me wrong, while I love Fedora too, which is also super fast to get up and running, as well as Omarchy, which I'm up and productive in just over 2 minutes on this setup. And while I've used so many other distros, even a fully riced manual Arch install that took me days, Mint again just feels like home for me. Which distro is home for you? I'm curious, drop a comment. Oh, and to tie this entire setup together and to provide maximum comfort while building custom PCs and tinkering with Linux, the team at ewinracing were kind enough to send over their Flash XL series gaming chair, which is built for big and tall users, supporting up to 550 pounds on the heavy-duty steel frame. The wheels work well even on carpet, the chair is fully adjustable, there's even a magnetic headrest and an added pillow for back support. Not to mention there's 4D adjustable armrest. Again, this chair is fully adjustable so you can dial it into your exact liking and easily adjust it as needed. And for my favorite part, the side lever lets you tilt the backrest anywhere from 85 to 155 degrees, and it includes a locking multi-tilt base so you can safely rock back. Perfect for quick afternoon naps in between work or extended gaming sessions. This chair offers so much. If you're curious about ewinracing, there's a link in the description for more information with the discount code. Also, check out my short breaking down the unboxing and the easy assembly. Again, thank you to ewinracing for sending out the Flash XL chair. The chair not only looks great with my setup, but it keeps me comfortable all day with less fatigue and less stress on my back, which is always greatly appreciated for someone who works remote, is constantly editing, and occasionally gaming. And with that, that about wraps up this video. Of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss. As always, thank you for watching, take care, and stay safe.